From the studios of TLC Talk Radio, it's DT on our minds. I'm your girl, Tasha.
And I'm that fat girl, Dana.
And, of course, we have another great show lined up for you. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and, of course, Instagram. And catch us every day on TLCTalkRadio.com multiple times a day. This show is so dope that we play it multiple times a day.
So dope.
Also, I'm the owner. But it's so dope.
It's so dope. People in Seattle even like it.
Yes. Shout out to your friend. What's his name?
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones, thank you so much for all of the feedback about the show. Our in-studio guest. Man, I know, like, we in the same age group, but now I kind of feel old because you were my student.
Uh-oh. That just means I went to school late. That's all
Okay,
that is.
let's ride with that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
It's my student, Brian Smith, but you probably know him as Wildcat.
Hey.
Hey, funny man.
Hey, y'all. Thank you for having me in the studio
It's our
tonight.
pleasure.
Absolutely,
Yes.
because we have been cracking up for the last 20 minutes.
Yes, that's what I do.
What did you say about the location of the studio? It was far.
Yeah, no, I had to get a student loan to come out here. To have enough gas, I had to get my oil changed, tires rotated.
It was a trip.
I couldn't take a shower. I had to take a bath because I knew it would take a while before I came back to the crib. So I kissed the security guard on the cheek at my building. I said, I'll see you later. I don't know
You're
when.
going on a week-long trek.
Yes.
We're not that far. We're just in the South Burbs.
I'm even further, though. I'm like another 20 minutes south.
I grew up in the south suburbs. So, you know, I'm just joking.
Yeah, that's good. You're good at that. You are excellent at that. So welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you. Now, the impetus behind us bringing you on is that you're trying to run away. And I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I'm going to let it ride because that means you're doing the things that we want you to do.
Oh, I'm not trying. I'm gone. Trying is a failed attempt waiting to happen. I am gone. I love Chicago. Chicago's been great to me my whole career. I've done movies. I've done TV shows. I've done plays. I've done drugs.
See,
It's time to go. It's time for some new weed.
it's time for some new weed.
Yes.
So,
Where it's already really legal.
Yes.
right.
Don't get me started. I said I wasn't going to cry. I said I wasn't going to cry. And now that I'm leaving Illinois, now they like, okay, now you guys can do it.
Yeah,
It's not a big thing.
Tell us about the start of your career. When I met you, I had no idea that you were a comedian. I was just like, this guy's nuts. Like, you would
Yeah.
crack me up every time.
Yeah, because I didn't want to walk in like, hey, everybody, you guys in for a treat. I'm a comic. No, I'm Brian Smith trying to get this little certificate so I can go on about my business.
And I found out by accident. I think I was looking at somebody, you know how people stick flyers on your car? And it annoys me a little bit. But I was like, who?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yep, that's that dude. It's that crazy guy.
And so I was late to the game because I thought you were new. Apparently, I
Right.
am slow. Tell us about how you got started in comedy.
Class clown turned professional.
I love it.
Always on the honor roll, always a smart kid, but, you know, I was the third of a terrible relationship, the third child. So being the youngest, I always had to, like, entertain myself.
Okay.
So junior high, cracking jokes, doing a couple of plays. And then freshman year, high school, my speech teacher, that was my time. Like, you want to do some speeches? Oh, I got some speeches. So I would, like, you know, they would have like Q&A and I'd raise my hand. I ask different questions, funny questions. And I just kept getting kicked out. Freshman year was a rough year.
Wait a minute.
And I'm like, why are you kicking me out? It was funny, right? And the class was like, yeah, it's funny. Don't kick him out, please. Like, it got to the point where the majority of my teachers, not just speech, the majority of my teachers would fill out the slip to
The
detention.
referral slip.
They would fill it out and leave it blank because they didn't know what I was going to do yet. The date, everything. That's why I was like, boom. She wrote for 2 seconds. I said, you filled all that out at the same? She was like, no, I have it ready for you.
That's hilarious. It's also an idea for when I start back to work.
Yeah, that does
Yeah.
sound like a good idea.
But my speech teacher, I did this big presentation. They had to do like a demonstration presentation. So I said, okay, I love cereal. Like, like Honey Nut Cheerios. So that's what I'm gonna do. But it was late on in the day, so I had to freeze the milk
Okay.
and put it in my locker. So I got the milk and I'm doing my presentation. I got the cereal, and then it wouldn't come out, so I just put the whole thing in there, and it was just, it was just the whole that feeling was just crazy. And then after class, she was like, I'm like, no, I gotta go. She was like, no, you stay here. She was like, look, I can't have you interrupting the class because people are actually trying to learn. So I don't want to call your mother. So you can either come after school and try out for the speech team, or we're going to sit down and talk to your mom and see what's going on. And I'm like, where's the speech team? This was back in the days when you don't call my mama. Call the police. But don't call my mama. Because she got to put that curl bag on and leave the house before she's ready. You can't just, that curl's got to be ready to go outside. That's like a child.
Yeah.
They had their shoes on and no socks with that curl. But, I did that. And I'm glad. I didn't know at the time I was starting a career, but I did original comedy, which is similar to stand-up. It's a lot of stories, family reunions, fairy tales, and that. And then after high school, it was just like, man, I want to make video games. So I went to college, electrical engineering, SIU, Carbondale, and I got to talking to my teachers, and we got so cool. It was like, hey, man, 80% of this stuff you learn, you'll never use in the field.
Wow.
I said, well, damn it, I'm wasting 80% of my time.
And money.
That was it for that. And just, went to a couple of comedy clubs and saw the comics on stage. Most of them were good, but a lot of them were like, wow, like they let him do this? Like I've done better at the family reunions than this guy's doing. And just, I asked Damon Williams, one of my mentors. I went to his show, and after the show, I said, hey, man, I'm a young comic, aspiring comedian. Can you give me some advice? He was like, yeah, come back here Thursday, and I'll put you on stage. I'm like, hey, you didn't hear the question.
Damon's a really nice guy.
That's my dog, day one. And I hit the stage, and it was great. Like, first time on stage for most people, they bomb horribly. I killed it. And everybody's like, that can't be your first time. And then I explained the speech team. I'd already been through speech. I'm second in state, third in state. I'd been doing that for 4 years. So it just made sense after I realized I didn't want to make video games anymore.
No, you didn't want to go to school to make video games anymore.
I love school. I was the type of kid, I would cry if I couldn't go to school. Like, I messed my leg up, and it was, man, the little girls was knocking on the door. Brian, are you coming out? You coming out of school today? I'm like, I can't come because my leg still hurt. I was crying. And my other friends was like, dude, I see him later. It's like, dude, you've been out of school for like 2 weeks. Why are you crying? I'm like, dude, school was the best. You get to learn.
But you also had your audience there.
Yeah, those were my friends. That was my outlet. But I didn't know I was preparing myself to do comedy, and it's been good to me.
So you mentioned you've done movies, TV shows. Tell us about that.
I was on, I did BET's Comic View about 3 times. I was on Showtime at the Apollo. I won that 5 times. I did a movie with B. Cole 15 years ago called A Get Together. It had Tony Roberts, Michael Collier, DJ Kid Capri. I did a movie with Robert Townsend, Angela Bassett, Faison Love that's called Of Boys and Men. Several national commercials. Had a McDonald's commercial, Tostitos commercial. One of them even played for the Super Bowl. Most recently, I did a movie called Call Center that should be coming out soon. Another movie called Disconnection Notice with a gang of comedians. And that, when I saw the script, I'm like, this is my life story right here. Of course, it's a guy gets a disconnection notice. And in the movie, it's like, it's not just the notice. It's not just his lights. It's his whole life is falling apart. His girlfriend's finna leave him and a bunch of different things. So he's got like a week to come up with his money. That's real funny. It's got comedians from all over the nation, even a few from out of the country.
Wow.
That's good. Another movie I did called Heaven on Seven with B. Cole,
Okay.
comedian B. Cole. And the movie that's out right now is called All for the Money. It's in Walmart. It's streaming online on Amazon Prime.
I will watch it tonight.
All for the Money. I play like a 70-year-old dude. So
Listen.
they got the hair and the beard and the hat and the suspenders. And he's an older guy that sees this website where it's like a dating website.
Okay.
But they have this thing. If you can meet somebody and get married in a week, then they'll give you like $250,000.
Oh.
So I get on the site, see this other girl. Turns out she needs some money for her auntie's operation.
Okay.
I just got kicked out of my mom's house, so we both doing the thing, and it's a funny twist to it, man, and I love it because it's character work, all for the money. Check that out. It's coming out. It's out
Absolutely.
now in Walmart and Amazon Prime.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. So
Yeah.
so what's been your most memorable experience? Like it sounds like you've had a variety of things happen.
My most memorable moment is my most recent TV appearance on The Rail Show that came on
Yes.
Fox. My main man, Lil Rail, shout
Shout out to
West
him.
Side. And that was a moment where I played a security guard in the building. Now, in this episode, Rail is living in this building, and he goes downstairs to wash his clothes, and he can't get in the laundry room because the gang in there, and they're having a meeting.
Listen, this sounds like one of his stand-up sketches.
Yeah, no, it's a funny episode. Check it out. It's on Rail on Fox. It's on demand. But yeah, he's going to wash his clothes and he can't because the gang is in there, and they like not necessarily paid me, but made me make sure that nobody walks in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, dude, you can't go in there. He's like, hey, my clothes, I already started to wash. I was like, ooh, that sucks. I kind of moved them to the side. And that was funny. I got a chance to work with Sinbad. Just
nice.
hilarious.
Yes.
Internet sensation. Jordan Jones. The director was the director for The Simpsons. Like, they put Fox's people on the project, and it was so dope because everything I did for my 19 years of my career, I was able to use in that moment. Like, every night when you're on a TV show, every night is a new script.
Sure.
You practice for a week for that one show.
Yeah.
Right.
So every night it was a different script. They put me in Beverly Hills for 2 weeks. I wake up in the morning and cry on the balcony. You know, just excited. But to be on the set and all the training, all the different things that I've learned from school and comedy shows, for me to be able to use that, for them to have not to have to tell me to do everything.
Right.
You know, if you're on set and you go to the bathroom, we know you grown, but tell us.
Right.
You going to the bathroom. So it was just like,
So
hey.
they don't think you ran to the store.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So it was that was honestly the greatest moment because I've been on Showtime with the Shaq All Stars. I've been on this and that. I got little movies that people are bootlegging.
Stop bootlegging.
It's okay.
Support your friends.
I even bootleg some of my
Lord
own movies
Jesus.
because I found out I wasn't gonna get paid. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna get paid.
Oh, well, okay.
And the first barbershop I went into, the director was sitting in the chair. And when you hit the door, it's showtime. Hey everybody, what's going on with your man Wildcat? Got a brand new movie. I'm like, oh. Hey Sion, what's up, man? This ain't that movie. We just using the cover. But yeah, it was dope to be in that realm, to have a friend reach out, to have his people call my people, to
Sure.
be on Fox. I had a viewing party for it. That was dope. I mean, it's dope when people can see you that don't have cable. You know,
Like
and-
me.
yeah, like, because I mean, I've been on TV on cable 4 times, and 4 times I had to go over somebody else's house. I can't even watch myself in my house. So that was dope, and it was also dope to do that movie All for the Money and to do the Rail Show so that I can entertain the whole family. That's what I do. I do
Yeah.
family reunions. I do birthday parties. I just did a birthday party for this lady. She turned 70. So she got all her 70-year-old
Oh.
friends.
You just talked yourself up on a job in April.
Hey, that's what I do. And it's the main reason I've stayed in Chicago, because when people let you in their home and educate, to entertain them, they just flew me out to Savannah, Georgia to do one of my buddies' family reunion because he saw me in D.C. So to be able to entertain everybody, I had grandma laugh all the way down to the little babies. They probably even know what they laughing at.
They laughing at grandma when her dentures fell out.
They laugh. Yeah, right. The kids do what everybody else do. You start crying, the baby start crying. But
Exactly.
it was good to do it on a platform that everybody could see. The show came right on after The Simpsons. So I think that was my greatest moment thus far. I'm looking forward to more.
That's
love it.
awesome.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
we have history before school.
Hmm.
Do you remember that?
That was with Jay
Yeah.
Washington.
Hmm. That's
Yeah.
why when you came into school, I kept looking at it like, I
Hmm.
know you, but where
Yeah.
do I know you and how do
Yeah.
I know you? Because I filmed you
Yeah, yeah, at the Laugh Factory.
at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah. It's crazy when you really step out on faith and start following your dreams, the people you meet,
Mm-hmm.
the different demographics. You know, like growing up in Harvey, the only white people I knew were cops.
Right.
Really?
And as a kid, it was cool. But then I joined the speech team, and I'm in Downers Grove, and I'm in Naperville and I'm meeting all these different people, and it's like, man, we're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hate things like racism and stuff like that. And comedy has taught me like we're all people. We all do a lot of the same stuff. If you vacuum a black guy's carpet, you're gonna find some of the same things you find in a white guy's carpet.
What are you going to find, Brian?
Yes.
Lint. You're going to find toenail clippings, pieces of marijuana. That's it. That's all that's on America's
dog
floor right now. You know?
If you have a pet, you have pet hair.
Yeah, there you
But
go.
Other than that,
But it was just, you know, growing up the way I grew up. I mean, and Harvey was the suburbs. I don't know what the hell to call it now. The damn show ain't the suburbs. I've been there. That ain't it.
no, it's
But just growing up in a bottleneck of a city,
Sure.
it was weird. And comedy really opened my eyes to the world. Like I've been to Germany, I've been to Amsterdam, I've been to Belgium, I've been to the West Side. 'Cause that's a whole damn
I was about to
country.
say,
right? That's a whole country.
My mother is somewhere looking at the video like, what he say? Because she's a West Sider.
Man, something else.
Don't say the wrong thing. I can't control her.
No,
I can't control her.
I went in a restaurant and they had a sandwich on the menu called the Vice Lord sandwich.
You see what I'm saying?
What
I
a
can't-
waste of support for the community. I had to try it too. It was good. It had all the meat and the cheese on the left side. You had to bite it twice. You know, it's pretty good.
On the left side, though?
Yeah, it's
That's
on the left.
hilarious.
Yeah.
That's great. So you cracked a joke before, because you've been cracking jokes since you got out of the car.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's good. You're incredibly talented. Seriously.
Thank you.
But you mentioned the way someone introduced you. What's
Yeah.
been your best introduction and your worst introduction? Whichever one you'd like to start with.
Well, the best introductions always sound like eulogies.
Okay, I get
They
that.
do. Oh, this dude just gave so much to the community and this and that. And I've been knowing him for a long time. And man, he's just funny, man. He make your grandma laugh. He do this, do that. Man, give it up for Wildcat. And I walk up and I just give him a hug.
Right.
Like, thank you, man.
Because it's so dope.
Yes. But just being humble and knowing that God did all of this to
Yeah.
me. It's not, I can't take credit. God gave me the gift of laughter, and it's a sin for me not to pursue it.
I'm with it.
So I think it's just a matter of me really understanding that and appreciating when people really run my credits, kind of run my resume before
Sure.
I'm on stage. I'm like, well, I did do all of that. That was me. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I do that too when I'm like looking back at all the different lives I've lived because
Mm-hmm.
I've been a choreographer, I've been a teacher, I've been, I've been
Hold on,
so
hold
many-
on, hold on.
Yeah, I was
As
Yeah.
a dancer,
Do it.
I miss this, and I'm going to need some dance step lessons because
Okay.
I like to expand my repertoire.
do
Well,
it.
it was like in the early 90s.
Whatever.
I don't have anything very modern.
Right.
You say that
Come
like
on,
it's a
Vogue.
From the
problem.
90s.
We just took a
In
picture in front of
Vogue.
the New Edition wall. I'm with the
Yes.
90s.
Yes.
But I don't, I
Yeah.
don't have anything like of today's standards. I cannot do.
Now, the worst introduction I had, the guy couldn't remember my name.
Nice.
He couldn't remember it, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper.
Okay, that's bad.
Yeah, and he looked at it and said, I don't need this. Hey, coming to the stage, man, real funny dude. Funny. I mean, just like his timing was off. I mean, you seen him on a bunch of TVs. Like, I only have one, sir. You see, instead of a bunch of
TVs.
stations, a bunch of channels, a bunch of TVs.
Like you went to Walmart and you walk by the display. of
Yeah, that's
TVs.
him right there. I want the one he owned right there. You know, he was like, hey, a bunch of TVs, man, radio shows and internet shows and television shows. TV and television is the same thing. So
Usually.
it was so long, and then he was like, all right, y'all, give it up for Wolfgang. Everybody looked like, the people were looking like, I don't know if that's his name, but if it is, why?
I actually
Why would you
know
pick
a
that?
Wolfgang. Like,
Okay.
that's his legal name, and he is a prodigy drummer.
Okay,
Yeah.
that I can get that. If you, because their parents are probably deep into music or
Yes.
something. So, yeah, but not Wolfgang.
No,
As a
not the
comic.
comedian. No, that
I've been-
doesn't seem to go very well.
I've been called Wolfgang Muskrat, Squirrel Boy, and there's another one I can't
Squirrel
think
Boy
of.
is like my personal favorite of those. I think.
Squirrel Boy.
Squirrel Boy.
That's
weird.
ridiculous.
It is.
I love it though. I need to use it in something.
We're
I
gonna
don't
tell
know
this
what it
story.
is.
it's like rappers' names. All these Lils.
Yes.
Lil Zane, Lil Wayne. When a rapper gonna come out called Lil No Daddy?
Oh,
I mean, what's next?
Or just grown up fool. I mean,
yeah. Because
something.
what happens when
Yeah.
you grow up?
You're 40 years old and you're little something.
Ask Lil Wayne that, because he's still Lil Wayne,
Yeah.
and it's not little
Right.
No, Lil.
like the Little Rascals. No, it's Lil.
oh.
Lil. You
Yeah.
gotta leave your
Little.
mouth open. Lil.
Whoa.
That good old country
Lil.
twang.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So that was weird, and it's just because I do different shows. The DJs and the hosts, they don't really know a lot about entertainment. Sometimes it's just somebody's cousin
Sure.
just bringing me on stage,
Yeah.
So I didn't take too much offense to it. I actually talked about it for the first 5 minutes.
He gave you great
New
material.
Yeah, I gave him a name. It was because he had on a really old suit. So I was like, y'all give it up for dead suit. It was something. It was like, which casket did you open to get that? Like, he looked like he about my size. I'll bury him. Y'all ain't got to worry about it. I'll do it.
Burial suit.
Yeah, so it was good. It was just, the improv and off the top of the head. That's really what comedy is.
Yeah.
People can write and sit and read a script, but when they can just put you behind the camera and just say go. That's why I love like Jerry Lewis, like people like that. What's the guy's name from In Living Color? Fire Marshal Bill.
Jim Carrey.
Jim
Like,
Carrey. I
his
love
face.
those type of comedic entertainers because they can make you laugh and they won't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
I would love to see you on a show like Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah. Now improv is tough.
I would imagine.
It's really tough, but they rehearse and they hang out. You're supposed to hang out a lot,
Yes,
so you
a
can
lot.
kind of
Vibe
feel
off of
each
one
other's
another.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took classes at Second City for a year, so I have that background too. Did
Okay.
you know that?
Yes, I did know
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
The things you find
In
out
one of my
tonight, though.
other lives.
Yeah. Whose
so-
line is it anyway?
But actually,
That's funny.
doing improv helps me with almost everything else I've ever done.
Yep.
Because
Definitely.
doing camera work, the stuff that I do is usually live stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So people are like, well, you should be doing this. I'm like, I got it.
Right,
Just
right,
let me
yeah.
do my thing because I know what I'm doing and I can, keep moving and not be all like, oh, but I have to have this shot this way. because I don't.
You have to be
Yeah.
fluid with it. Yeah, absolutely. Thinking on your feet is a
Yeah.
skill that not everybody has.
Exactly.
I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Well, thinking sitting down isn't a skill a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just thinking generally.
Yeah.
That's
And people were
horrible.
talking about like, I don't know what they talking about.
What they mean?
I don't get it. I'm
It's
sitting
okay.
down right
You
now.
in that demographic. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I love it. I love it.
Speaking of people who don't think, people need to stop leaving their kids in their car when it's hot out or cold out.
Just don't leave your baby in the car.
In general.
Right. And,
Right.
and I love the suggestion. Well, put something that's important in the back seat too.
That hurts my feelings.
The
Like the baby wasn't important.
The what?
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
hello?
Yeah, that was literally a suggestion. Well, if you put your cell phone back there, you won't forget. I said, okay, let me make sure I'm clear. You'll notice if you forget your cell phone, but you won't notice if you
A
don't.
whole child.
You know,
And children have smells.
Yes, they do.
So you can smell a child.
Well, I had
before you
so
get out
much
the car.
anxiety having a kid, like making sure that she didn't die the entire time. That
Right.
like I had her like in the mirror where I could see her behind
Right.
me, and
Mm-hmm.
like all times. Even though I'm pretty, scatterbrained as is, I never left my kid in the car.
yeah.
No,
Like
that's,
I never have, and I
those-
understand,
no, that's
but I don't understand.
that's the majority of the time it's done intentionally.
You think so?
Yeah. Back in the days, we used to get left in the car all the time.
Well, yeah.
They cracked
but
the
they cracked the
window.
window.
Right. Like we're this dog sitting there. Like, I gotta have a
And
little
don't do your
air.
pets like that either.
Yeah.
Right, that
it's
too.
it's lots of they're doing it on purpose. There probably are a few parents that just blindly forget. I don't
Yeah.
know how you
Yeah.
forget a whole damn person.
I don't that you brought into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
somebody admonished me. So here's what happened. I saw the story, and I just, kind of responded with, how are people still leaving children in cars? One, I get that we're distracted. So I don't take away from the, infallibility of being a human being. However, with all the publicity surrounding it, like whatever. So it turns out that this particular story, the children were not infants. They were like 7 and 8, between 7 and 10. And there were two siblings.
Oh, that's leaving the car age right,
Right.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, but he went into a hospital for a 2-hour appointment or whatever he had to do. Who knows? But the children understood that it's too hot in here. And so they began to blow the horn to get the attention of a passing officer. And so, everybody, without reading the article, came at me. Well, not everybody, but a few people were like, I've forgotten, don't come down too hard. Wait a minute. I need you to read the article.
Right.
I didn't say he forgot. He left a whole 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old. I don't know how old these babies were, but they're babies.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. So I'm not a parent, so I don't ever want to be condescending. But y'all
you
are parents.
You are
I'm
a
a
human.
parent.
though.
Yeah.
And there's certain things humans shouldn't do to other
Right.
humans.
Exactly.
I'm with it.
Yeah. But I could never imagine leaving my child in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm like I would literally have to still be able to see them. Like if I'm walking up to a gas station and I can't walk in,
Right.
Baby, stay here. I'll go, but I have to have sight of my child
Sure.
I agree.
the majority of the time.
And I used to
or-
like lock the door as soon as I walked away from the car to make, to go to the gas station.
right,
Like
yeah,
again, with my anxiety was so
Sure.
high when I had her when
the
she was
world
little. And
is
she was
changing. Though.
yeah.
It's a different place.
I mean, she's 18 now, so
Yay,
I
you made
can't
it.
have
She'll
that
leave
much.
you in the car.
Yes, she will.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
She'll leave me on the side of the road somewhere.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Kids.
What is fatherhood like for you?
Fatherhood to me, it is the thing that turns a young man into a grown man,
Okay.
and then you have to continue to grow.
Sure.
See, I started way too early,
Okay.
like way too early. Like the first hair I got on my chin, I was like, yeah, I'm ready to be a dad. But and I didn't understand because at the time my family was falling apart. My parents had already divorced, but my uncles and aunties weren't hanging out as much. And I didn't know, like I had my first child like 18,
Okay.
fresh out of high school, prom night, 1996, June 2nd. I'll never forget it. Yeah, give me a second.
You know what?
my oldest is 22. My middle son is 21. He'll be 21 August 7th. And then the baby's 6.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't really an all thing when I found out about it. It was like, damn. Like I was almost free.
Yeah, that's why I only have one.
Yeah.
I don't have
But-
any. Good luck, y'all.
Yeah, man. Being a parent is like college. It ain't for everybody. Like,
Now that
That's-
is a great note.
that's real.
It's true,
Yeah.
though.
But it made me more responsible than the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me, not that I needed another reason to live, but when you become responsible for someone else that's like a human, because dogs and pets, you can kind of cage them. You can kind of, you know,
You can kind of cage kids.
you can, yeah,
really
you
say
can, but you're not supposed to.
Yeah, I'm a mandated reporter.
You know?
Moving on.
Yeah.
So am I, actually.
Yeah. So my boys, 2 boys, they're like a year and a half apart. Growing up with them, it was like my little brothers because I was still growing up.
Sure.
And then to have my daughter, it was like, wow, like she's teaching me so much about just, of course she's not a woman, but the female perspective. Because up until that point, I never had a female that I had to take care of. I had to consider her little emotions, you know, and it took it to a whole nother level. I thought I had being a father in the books until she came around and started talking. She has opinions. She doesn't ask for things like regular children. Remember when we were young, our parents, we said, "Hey, Mom, I want this or I want that." No, my daughter called me the other day and said, "Daddy, when you pick me up, do you have money for shopping?"
Wow.
Like, what the hell is shopping? Like, who even told you that word? You know, normally it's, I want this. Can I get
Right.
this? No, she doesn't know what she wants, but she wants to buy stuff.
She wants to wander around
Yeah.
and find things that she likes. And
Really
Buy this.
emotional. Really, everything's how I feel. I don't want to eat this banana. There's a dark spot on this banana. And I'm like, well, I'll cut the dark spot off. But no, the rest of it is probably dark, but I just can't see it. And she's my child. That's the thing about your kids. The jerk, the educator, the lecturer,
It's all you.
everything is all in there.
And
So
you get it back.
I'm loving it, man. Being a father was probably the best thing I've ever done. I'm actually a better parent than I am a person.
That's a dope note to end on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's a post positive right there.
Absolutely. Brian, we really appreciate you coming in. Where can people see you next before you run away to LA? And how can people find you on social media?
You can see me every Wednesday on 79th and Stony. I'm selling black soap and shea butter. So if you got an elbow that looks like a knee, holla at me. You can check me out all social media, DA Wildcat. And if you don't have a .com, you're not doing business. So you can check me out on actorbriansmith.com, wildcatcomedy.com, Brian the Wildcat Smith on Facebook, and The Nasty One on MySpace. Oh, yes, I'm still on there. I'm still on there. Yes, I actually have a new movie coming out. It's like soft porn. It's called What Won't Kill You
Listen, you
might
should
make
see
you
my
horny.
face. Well, those of you watching can't see it. I'm like, I don't know if I wanted to know that.
Well, you know, it was a joke. Yeah, the title is What Won't Kill You Might Make You Horny. It's a horror soft porn. Like, I'll kill you, but you're so
Kinda
cute
like
when you're
Teeth.
scared, you know? Huh?
Kind of like Teeth. You ever see that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, you want to see that.
I'm just
Oh, okay. Look,
over
this
here
this
just
we supposed to
I'm
be
trying to-
ending the
I'm trying
show,
to
and
wrap
it
the
just,
show,
it just
yeah.
went a whole nother direction.
I'm sorry.
well, it's a good thing I'm in charge here at this station.
Yes, yes.
Once again, Brian, we appreciate you coming on the show and spending time with us. We hope to have you back.
Definitely.
Of course, you've been listening to DC on Our Minds. I'm your girl, Tasha.
And I'm that fat girl, Dana.
Don't forget to check us out every day on tlctalkradio.com, because Brian said that if you don't have a .com, you're not in business.
Boom.
And of course, follow us on our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We shall catch you next week.
Peace.